Hello my guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. So this is another OC video where I take one of my old OCs and redesign them. So in order to get context for the universe, you should probably watch the first video, but I will give a recap anyway. And for this video, maybe watch Alex's video. It's not really necessary, but if you do want slightly more context, you can go watch that. Also, I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by my 1-year YouTube anniversary, which is gonna be mid-January. So if you want to help make that happen, please subscribe. And on with the video. So to give a quick recap on the story, this is a story called Main High. It's set in a universe that has like fancy creatures, magic users, things like that, but all those people who are like magical in some way are taken to a separate dimension, and all the characters here go to the high school there called Main High. And this character is named Peach. So originally she was like this supernatural blogger. She kind of like figured out that there's something a little fishy about the world, you know? And so she was super into like everything supernatural, anything mystical, magical, and she didn't know how exactly everything worked. She was just kind of going off of like mythology of this world and the misinformation of it. She didn't actually know anything about Main High or the truth behind a lot of the magic in the world, but she was really into all that stuff. So she had a blog where she'd talk about it, but she was just a normal human. She was like this really happy, positive person. I kind of only had like 3 personalities when I first started making characters. To summarize them, I pretty much call them the sad personality, the normal personality, and the happy personality. Happy personality would be like this like super positive but naive and gullible person who wasn't really wise, didn't know a lot about the world, but was so happy and positive and sunshine and rainbows. Then there's the normal personality, which was like just I never gave them a personality. They just kind of existed in the story. And then there's sad personality, which is like edgy, sad kid, usually very angry about things, super negative and pessimistic. Those were the only personalities I knew how to write, so she got the happy personality. And I also didn't really give her a backstory. She was just connected to some of the other characters in the story, and that was about it. So I really have loved her design and her personality, and Peach overall was one of like my favorite characters. So I really wanted to do her justice. I was really excited about this one. The main things I wanted to do were change up her outfit, though I did want to keep a lot of the iconic elements of her design, like the color palette, and I did want to make her still have her hat, but I want to change it a bit because this hat looks kind of similar to a certain other person's hat. I don't want the two to be associated with each other. I want to change her personality somewhat to give her a personality that isn't just happy, and I want to give her some sort of story. For her personality, I'm still having her be like a really positive person. She's like really confident in herself and doesn't really care about what other people think, and she's really determined to do what she wants and not let anything stop her. She doesn't worry about things like how being like a woman or being a younger person or being a person of color might affect her. She doesn't care about that. She still goes for things and gives it her all anyway, and doesn't let the world put her down. But she's also a very empathetic person. She's very caring. She loves people, especially kids. She loves kids and animals. And she feels like very responsible for everyone's happiness and always wants to make people happy. But as often happens when you're one of those types of people, she does keep a lot of her emotions bottled up and doesn't really take care of herself as much. She cares about her happiness and her well-being, but she will only focus on it in ways that doesn't affect other people. Like, she doesn't talk about how she feels with other people. She doesn't try and do anything that like puts off other people. We'll get more into that in a bit when I talk about her backstory. And also, I do want to keep some of the element of her blog, but with some tweaks that we'll talk about later as well. But she does have trouble a lot of the times turning off her like influencer, I guess, personality. Like, a lot of the times she'll be kind of acting in front of people as well. So she has a lot of trouble being like truly herself with people a lot of the times, instead of just being this character that she's so used to putting on. Now, Peach is no longer just a human. I've decided that I want to give her magic powers because, listen, I can't have too many bland and boring humans in this world. So her powers are going to be kind of hard to explain because I want to have a good balance of having an actual tangible ability and having an ability that she can explore and learn more about, while also still having it be useful. So pretty much in Main High there are a couple different like dimensions. So imagine like Earth kind of dimension. I'll probably put up a graphic here because we have Earth and all that dimension. Then above that, heaven, and below Earth is hell. Somewhere off to like the side is the Main High dimension. It's like on the same x-axis as Earth. Wait, no. Same y-axis as Earth, but to the side of it. Then the like ghost plane, I guess, where ghosts live, slightly above Earth. So that's why a lot of the time some effects from ghosts will leak into Earth, because it is so close to the dimension of Earth. So hopefully I do a good job putting up a graphic here that makes sense. But her power is pretty much she can shift where she is closer to the like ghost dimension, and she can also shift stuff from the ghost dimension closer to her. So she can like kind of shift between those dimensions. I didn't want to just make it like she can see ghosts or something, because that'd be kind of boring and also complicated to put her in a society and have her grow up seeing ghosts. So I figured this would be a cool way to still explore similar connection to ghosts and have her be able to learn about this power and grow with it. And it seems a lot more fun and interesting than just like she can see and hear ghosts or something. So then we move on to like her kinda story. So what I came up with is Peach is from a military family. Her dad is in the military. So she moved around a lot. And when she was really young, she was like really antisocial. She never connected with other kids. And she would always just be in her room playing with herself and like talking to herself. Which, you know, at first it's like, okay, you know, just kid, imaginary friends. Of course she's gonna have trouble making connections. She doesn't stay in places very long. It's fine. But then like she started getting older and it didn't stop, and everyone was starting to get worried. Then her mom died, and her dad would like catch her talking to no one and be like, who are you talking to? And then Peach would be like, oh, I'm talking to mom. So then her dad got like even more worried, because it's like, honey, your mom's gone. You can't talk to her. And so at like one point, he just kind of like, he was really worried. You know, now all of a sudden he's a single dad. Peach is like acting real weird. Something's up. So at one point he was just like, stop. Don't bring up your mom. Stop talking to nothing. Please, God, just be normal. Obviously not a great thing to say to your kid, especially, you know, a kid who's gone through a lot, but he was just couldn't deal with that anymore. He didn't want to have to deal with her being different and just have to deal with something he didn't know how to deal with, I guess. So Peach then just started hiding it. She didn't bring up any of this ever with her dad again, hid it from other people too, kind of figured out that something about me isn't normal and people don't like it, so I'm not going to address it with other people. And then Peach, like most kids do, started going on the internet. She found out about like ghost stuff, about people like having ghost experiences and ghost hunters and paranormal investigators, and she was like, oh my god, that's what was happening. Ghosts. I had my houses were probably like haunted or something. I was talking to ghosts. And so she kind of, instead of figuring out that she's magic, she instead has now gone to like phony ghost stuff. So she's like super bought into the idea of everything and like really into ghost hunting especially. Then one day she moves again, normal thing happens a lot. But now she's in close proximity to this like infamous haunted place. She's like, you know what? I should check it out. Maybe I should like document my experience too. So she checked out the place and was making like blog posts on Tumblr about her experiences, taking some photos. She got some really cheap ghost hunting equipment, and that's kind of what just started her whole journey as like an online ghost hunter. She kept doing stuff like that, going to different places, investigating. Eventually things started to pick up. She started doing YouTube, some Twitch streaming. She started like actually making money from it, getting budget for ghost hunt equipment. And yeah, she found a passion. Her dad at this point is getting worried again because he thinks that she's obsessed with ghosts because her mom died. In his mind it's like, oh, this probably has something to do with her mom being dead, right? And her like wanting to be able to connect with her mom. So he's kind of worried about that, but he's just trying to pretend everything's fine and that this is normal. Trying to at least like feign a supportive dad. Then she moves again. She meets some people and makes like actual connections with them, and she gets like friends in this place. Most of her friends at this point are like online, but she makes actual friends, which is kind of weird for her. That's never happened. But one of her friends goes missing, and then she meets Alex, which is the character I was saying to go watch. And then they connect over recently having a person in their life go missing. And then Alex is like, hey, something's kind of sus about, these disappearances. And so they start working together to try and figure out what the heck's going on. So Peach is another one of like Earth Gang, the people who are on Earth for at least a while in the story. Even though she has magic, she has not been pretty much kidnapped by Main High and forced to live in that dimension yet. So that's where we're at in her story. I don't want to say anything more because that's going into spoiler territory in case this ever does become a thing. But yeah, that's her new story. She's probably one of the happier characters, honestly. Pretty much all my characters from here on out, I took their backstories and made them less sad. So we're going to have a lot more happy times instead of just depressing characters always going through horrible events. In every OC video, I do like a final drawing to kind of test out their new design, and Peach is no different. What I came up with was like a camera recording her in this like haunted old looking library. So she's like doing a ghost hunting thing, and she was gonna be getting like an EMF level 5 on her EMF reader. She was being really shocked. And so yeah, that was my concept. It wasn't anything too high concept. It just took a long time to make. God, this drawing took so long. I really do like drawing her outfit though. I love her outfit. I figured since she doesn't really care about what other people think, her fashion sense is gonna be one of the most fun things about her, cause I want her to be super fashionable, but also like really playful with her fashion. Like she's kind of out there and she'll wear whatever the heck she wants. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited to like just draw her in a ton of outfits. Honestly, one of my least favorite parts about this drawing was just the gosh darn books. Coloring them all in and trying to like vary the colors and make them random enough was horrible. I hated it so much. All the colors from the book I took from various colors already in the drawing. So all these colors are found mainly in Peach's color palette or like object she's holding or something. So I did have a nice assortment of colors, but I still had to figure out ways to like vary them, and it took, I don't even know how many books are here, but I had to color each of these books and think about what colors I should make them, and then I had to shade them all too. That was fun. I hated the books. I tried to think of something that would scream like kind of haunted or abandoned or old, and library was the first thing I thought of, and so I went for it. Figured it'd be something that was on the simpler side, but it was still awful. I also made the background very dark, so that's like she's in the dark. I didn't darken her, instead I just added like more dramatic shading to her because I wanted her to stand out more than the background. Then I also added in some like rim lighting from the EMF reader, which I think was a very nice touch. It added a lot to the drawing, made her feel much more connected with the object she's holding. Yeah, that was pretty much the drawing. I love this drawing. I love her expression. Yeah, I think it's just a great expression of, oh god, I'm screwed. And I mean, there are some problems here and there, especially with her bracelet. Her bracelet kind of blends in with her skin because of the shading. But besides that, I love it. This drawing, 10 out of 10. It's great. It's beautiful. I love it so much. This is probably my favorite OC drawing I've done. I just love the drawing. I love Peach. I love everything about her. She is my baby, and I'm so excited to get to do more drawings with her. Also, I did totally forget to add the ghosts onto her outfit. I really like that touch, but I forgot to add into the final drawing. But it's fine, it has enough going on anyway. Anyway, if you did like this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions about the story, the characters, the universe, anything, make sure to comment them down below. Also, follow all my social media, they're in the description below. And I will see you all next week.